Well, guys, our next guest has been requested by you almost every single day, not only leading up to UFC 268, but in the aftermath as well. He's here for the very first time since the night of UFC 268, after that insane fight against Kamaru Usman at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Chaos himself, Colby Covington. Welcome back home, man. It's always been 6 months. I can't believe this, but Colby Covington is home and submission ready. Thanks heaps for joining us once again, man.
It's an honor to be back here, at Submission Radio. I even gonna toast to you guys. I'm gonna open up my page, the nectarine blueberry. I'm gonna toast to you guys. It's a celebration. I get to talk to my boys down under again. Although I am a little sad, that you guys are living in communist Australia and everything's shut down. I miss seeing you guys at the events. It's tough. But, I still love you guys, and I'm living my best life here in Florida. We got Ronnie DeSantis, the best governor in the world. So the only mandates that are going on in Florida are the mandates between two men going on a date. That's the only mandate we got here in Florida. Free Florida.
Man, I'll tell you, it's crazy because in the intro, we have had people requesting you almost all the time. When's Colby coming back? When's he coming back on the show? But also, just before we get into it, sometimes these your fans, they'll hit us up and they'll be like, hey, I just spoke to Colby Covington on Skype, and they'll send us like a screenshot. And then the other day I was on Twitter and I saw one of your fans had their birthday and you sent them a video message, a birthday message. And I was just thinking about this before we got this conversation going. And I was thinking, man, a high profile athlete like yourself, MMA fighter, I don't think me and Casper have seen someone who jumps on Skype, chats to their fans, sends birthday messages out, all behind the scenes, by the way, like you have over these last couple of years, because these stories keep popping up and people keep sending us these screenshots and videos.
Yeah, I try to always keep it real, There's a reason they call me the people's champ, and I'm just honored to, be the people's champion and fight for them and just, interact with them and keep it cool with them. I'm not just some celebrity that just forgets where I came from and the people that got me to where I am and the people that keep me at where I'm at. So, I got nothing but love and respect for all the fans, and I'm going to keep putting on good, entertaining performances for them.
Good on you, man. That's awesome. I was listening to you chatting to Brett, the very handsome Brett Okamoto, leading into UFC 268. And you were saying how after the first Usman fight, you kind of like to lay low just so you can sort of gauge everybody's reaction, see what people are saying, see what kind of narratives are coming out, etc. So I'm just wondering, this one obviously, very different, this fight, but what have the last couple of weeks been like? We haven't heard much from you. I like that you did the post-fight press conference. It's always great to see people after a fight like that, come in and address everything. But what have the last 2 weeks been like for you, man?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks have been good. I've just been enjoying my life. I just got back from Pensacola celebrating my friend Stephen Hodgson. Hodgson, he's an Army Ranger, one of my best friends, a brother to me, and he just got married this weekend. So it was good to be there with them. And, just came back to Florida with all my mamacitas and all the beautiful women and free state that Florida has to offer. And similar to last time, I came out a little bit quicker. I wanted to see what the media was going to say, and I'm still not happy with what they're saying. I don't know why they're running these narratives like this guy's the greatest of all time. He's a pound-for-pound #1 fighter. I mean, the fans saw it that night. Just because 3 judges were in there and they scored it a certain way, the fans and the millions of people watching worldwide saw with their clear eyes what happened in that fight. I clearly won that fight 3-2. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th round were my round. And even if you were looking on a different side of the scope, I think you could see me winning the 1st round too. It was very close and competitive. So, after 10 rounds, the people see what had happened. We fought 2 times. After 10 rounds, at the worst, if you look at, at the worst, I'm down. I'm winning 6 rounds to 4. So I think there needs to be another fight. There needs to be a trilogy if he stays around. If he wants to stay around, after fighting me 2 times, I think he realizes how serious I am and how bad I want that belt. So I don't know if he's willing to die in that octagon like I am. And, I'm going to get my shot back at him. If he doesn't retire first, he might retire and just go on, right off in the sunset. But if not, I'm looking for that Marty trilogy.
How many times, if any, have you rewatched the fight?
I only rewatched it once. I rewatched it right away. I went to the back and I was like, I got to see what happened. I felt like I had the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Those were my rounds. The second, the only reason I rushed in there and he he like barely clipped me and I hit the ground, it was like a flash knockdown, was because if you go look in the second round, I wobble him with a jab. I hit him with a good jab. He stumbles a little bit, but when he stumbles, he catches his feet real good and he throws a 2 and a hook. And the hook just kind of flashed me and I was like, oh shit, but it wasn't any serious damage. And that was a close round in the second too. And that was it. He got a quick little flash knockdown. The first round, I thought I definitely won that round. I took him down definitely 2 times. Any wrestler, even DC. DC's on there. I mean, the guy's an Olympic wrestler, NCAA champion, just one of the best wrestlers of all time, a wrestling coach. And if he's saying it, that's 2, that's a takedown. I mean, it's pretty obvious that I broke that record. He's not unblemished on his being taken down record in the UFC anymore. I've obviously taken him down. I took him down twice. I won the fight. I dropped him. I wobbled him, hurt him to the body. That was my fight, man. The people saw that that's why who they were rooting for at Madison Square Garden. And what a beautiful night it was to be in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, 4th highest gate in the arena's history. I mean, that's legendary. Above the Rolling Stones, above, freaking Hulkamania, WrestleMania, all these big events. Colby Covington, 4th largest gate in Madison Square Garden history. So it was a beautiful weekend regardless of what 3 judges decided.
It's such a big contrast, like this fight to the first one. I was saying to Laura Sanko in the post show, like I like this one even more because I felt like there was more kind of drama in the fight where, he did hurt you in that second round and it kind of looked like this might go sideways. And then the way you came back and you actually rallied and it kind of, you got better and better as the fight went on. You mentioned obviously the 2 takedowns. He's never been taken down. It was a phenomenal fight. I am wondering though, it looked to me like there was a different game plan, and I think even post-fight they mentioned you did start out a little bit slow. Both of you guys, a little bit uncharacteristically low volume. And I'm wondering, was that by design? Was it part of the game plan? Was it a case of just respecting Usman too much? Was it a case of just the layoff having any kind of effect? I almost felt like even when you were walking out, there was something a little bit different. Can you shed light on it? What was it about it?
Yeah, that was definitely, we thought about that game plan with my coaches, Cesar Carnero, Danny Valverde, Jonathan Lopez, and Charlie Weiss. We wanted to come out and just feel him out, see what he's looking for, see if he's looking for that big right hand, see if he's looking to jab a lot. I trust my reflexes. I trust my hand-eye coordination and, my timing. So I was looking for his timing. I was going to counter off him, but he wasn't really opening either. He was kind of being timid. There wasn't really a lot of action the first round. It was kind of, just going back and forth. And I really, there's a case that I won that round. But yeah, it was definitely a feeling out round. That's kind of what I wanted to do, but is kind of slow him down and just kind of see his timing and see what he's trying to do in that first round. And then the second, third, fourth, to fifth take over. Everybody knows I'm the cardio king. I don't get tired in that octagon. I get better as the fight goes on. After the fight was done, I was ready for 5 more rounds in the parking lot. And that's the fucking truth. That's why I got right in his face at the end. We had that little exchange. And, if you guys want to know what I said to him in that exchange, I went up to him. I'm like, Marty, come here. Come here, Marty. Little closer. Closer. Marty, little closer. Use promo code Colby at mybookie.ag.
Oh, man.
And by the way, what did you think of Dan Mugata sort of breaking you guys up during that moment and saying, go kiss Slater? It kind of ruined that MyBookie moment a little bit.
Yeah, that was uncalled for by Murgliata. He's a fantastic ref. Man, he does a great job inside the cage. I mean, he did let Marty cheat a couple times, but that was just uncharacteristic to him. I mean, I wanted to make sure Marty really knew what my code was in MyBookie because those people love us so much. They take care of us. So, it wasn't called. It was uncool. It wasn't called for, and he should have let me really make sure that Marty knows where to go, where to get his bets in, and let's make those bank accounts great again.
You were just looking out for Kamaru's best interest. Want to make him some extra money at our good friends at MyBookie. You should have told him maybe use promo code submission. Just if you feel like Colby submission. But the thing is, the mics.
Murgliata didn't give me enough time. I love my boys down under. I wanted to say use that promo code submission, but I didn't get enough time. He's like, no, that's it. Get away from each other.
And I
knew I was ready for 5 more rounds in the parking lot.
I know you would have had he not interrupted. The thing is, though, and obviously, not to kind of break kayfabe, but the mics did pick up a little bit of respect that you showed towards Kamaru Usman. I think initially he thought that you were going to come over and maybe, I don't know, say something, talk shit. And he kind of came in with that energy as well. But then we heard you saying, I think that you respected him in that moment. What made you want to say that after the promo code?
I never got to say that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. The only thing I remember saying is, Marty, come here. Closer. Closer, Marty. Come here. Come here. Come here. Promo code Colby at mybookie.ag. And that's all that happened was I can't respect that guy. How can I respect a cheater? He poked me in the fight. I was clearly poked again. That's the second time he's poked me. He grabbed the cage when I was taking him down the second time. He was grabbing the fence. That's clearly cheating. I mean, he cheated multiple times in the first fight. When did I ever cheat? Not one time did I cheat or do anything wrong in both fights. I fought clean. I fought hard. I never took any breaks. And I can't respect him. He's a cheater. I mean, it's clear that he does steroids. Like, that's what we get. That's the best guy in the world, the CEO of BPO. He's a supposed pound for pound chemical fucking fighter of the year. You know, he's got a chemical imbalance, you know, acne all over his face, all over his back. You know, come on, dude. He lost his hairline. I made so much fun of him that Marty Juiceman gave away his hairline. He just shaved it. He's like, you know what? Let me just go. It's already halfway up my head. Let me just get this out of here, man. No more, man. I'm taking it off. He's bald now. He's an ugly fucking motherfucker. But it's clear that he's a cheater. I don't respect the cheater.
The interesting thing is you guys now share two incredible battles that go down in history in the welterweight division. The first one and now the second one. Even though you say you don't respect him, how does it feel to be sort of tied to him in history to these two fights? I mean, this last fight, absolute classic. The first one, you know, absolute classic as well. One of Dana White's favorite fights too, and something that people were talking about. It's almost like you have a kind of weird bond with him because you guys will be connected in these fights forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's undeniable the history that we've made together, you know, so it is what it is on that front. But, you know, I did beautiful business for the UFC. Everybody knows who they were there to see, though. Bottom of the line, they were only there for one reason. They weren't there for him. They were there for me. You know, if you heard the chants in the crowd, you know, everything fight week, the pop I was getting at the press conference, everything. I mean, some of my biggest haters, guys, are now my new fans. They won't stop talking about me. So, you know, I'm losing all my old haters. I need to get some new ones.
Yeah, and by the way, what happened with Lil Wayne? You broke the Lil Wayne news on the show. Well, like, where's Lil Wayne now? We want to see Lil Wayne. But outside of that, like, the walkout was amazing. Everybody got into the chants, the "You Suck" chants, which I know you've been trying to do for quite some time. And it was just like, it actually felt a little bit like watching a WrestleMania when you were coming out there. I thought we were watching WrestleMania 20. You know, where Kurt Angle was walking out there, and then the chants throughout the fight. And we saw the smile on your face, man. You loved it, right? Like, take us into that. No Lil Wayne, but you loved those moments. Like, it almost felt like the manifestation kind of paid off in those moments for you, and people really were just loving being there, and the energy was as crazy as you kind of would have thought it would have been at Madison Square Garden, that kind of fight on the line.
Yeah, you know, Lil Wayne was supposed to make it out, but he had some problems in LA with his private jet. I guess it was having like some mechanical issues. So like they thought it'd be dangerous to fly out that day because originally they were just going to come Saturday, come to the fight, head back to LA Sunday. But, you know, they had some mechanical issues. So they took the safe route. And I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing. But nothing was going to ruin that magical, history-filled, you know, historical night. It was incredible, man. The fourth highest gate, I mean, the arena was electric. I mean, people in the very freaking nosebleeds, just cameras out, flashes everywhere, and then just everybody chanting along to my Kurt Angle song, you know, "You suck, you suck." And it was just such a great feeling, you know, all this hard work, all this manifestation of belief in my skill set and my work ethic and just the blue collar, you know, mentality and life that I came from. It just, to this moment in the Mecca, in Madison Square Garden, although New York City's a dump, that place is trash. You know, politics has killed that city. It's just disgusting what they're doing there, all the mandates and vaccine this and that. But the arena and the history that is kept at Madison Square Garden, it was so sweet. You know, those are the moments that I'm going to look back on and I'm going to forever cherish and just appreciate, you know, that, you know, all the hard work paid off. You know, it wasn't for nothing. It was for something. It was for the fans. It was for the people and giving them a great show. And I'm going to keep doing that. So the best is yet to come. You haven't seen the best Colby Chaos Covington yet. Mark my words.
100%. Just quickly before we move off UFC 268, how's the foot? I know you were saying that it might be broken. Is it officially broken? How is it at the moment?
So yeah, the doctor was saying that there's probably like a little hairline fracture in the top, but he said it's like a 3-4 week recovery. You know, it's been 2 weeks, so I'm barely limping on it still. It's pretty much good now, you know. So yeah, I mean, another week or two for sure, it's good, but it wasn't a serious problem. It just kind of swelled up in the fight. You know, I threw a low kick and it landed on his knee like in the second round, and I felt it swell up right away. I was like, ooh, okay, can't throw the right kick anymore. Got to go to the left kick and just use other tools. So that kind of limited my skill set. You know, I was compromised in that fight, and that's what I still was able to do, win 3 rounds to 2. So, you know, it was amazing to put on a show for America, put on a show for the people, and put on a show for Madison Square Garden like they had never seen before.
So now the interesting thing that happened is, you know, people were wondering what the future would hold for Colby Covington. And then obviously what the big fights would be for you coming up next. You said yourself in the post-fight press conference that Jorge should just pull out of the fight with Leon Edwards and fight you instead. Then half a week later, news broke that Jorge had to withdraw due to an undisclosed injury, and we hope he feels better. What went through your mind when you saw that?
So you guys know every time I come on Submission Radio, I break some news to you guys, and I give you guys the goods always. I don't hold back from you guys because I appreciate you guys being unbiased and not writing journalism with your feelings. So I'll tell you the truth of what happened with George for real, you know, and I still have people at his gym that still love me, you know, and I'm the people's champ for a reason, you know, so I get the insider scoop on everything. So, you know, that fragile dude, Street Judas Jorge Masvidal, he broke his ribs. He fractured his ribs last Saturday in training, and yeah, he's fragile, and he had to pull out of the fight. So, you know, it's too bad that, you know, people still love me over at his gym more than they even love him.
That's crazy, broken ribs. Why? Because, you know, we watched the interview that he did with Ariel on the MMA Hour, and, you know, we're all curious to hear, okay, what is the injury? Obviously, he didn't disclose it. You know, as a fighter yourself, you understand the mentality. Do you understand why he didn't disclose it? I was going to ask you if you were curious what the injury was, but you just told us. You're saying it's broken ribs.
Yeah, and that's fact. I'm telling you guys the truth. He went to the gym to train last Saturday doing some sparring. Not last Saturday, but the Saturday before. Like, 8 days ago. And he went to sparring at the gym, you know, gets his ribs fractured, leaves the gym crying, and, you know, goes to the doctor and gets the x-ray, and they determine, you know, it's fractured ribs. He's a fragile little bitch. You know, he's a brittle little bitch. You know, he tried to talk about me being fragile. That's the fragilest guy on the fucking roster. That guy's a complete little joke, and it's pretty funny. I think he's finding, you know, out that, you know, he's a nobody, he's a bum, and that's the reason people are telling me, you know, what's going on with him. He tried to keep it a secret. He didn't want to tell the media. He didn't want people to know, but now they know because of Colby Chaos Covington, only on Submission Radio.
Well, appreciate the exclusive, man. Did you get a bit of a laugh when people were sort of, you know, looking at this conspiracy that, like, you know, he must have pulled out to fight Colby. This clearly he didn't want to fight Leon Edwards and he just wanted to fight Colby. Bit of a conspiracy that was running a little bit rampant, but did you get a bit of a laugh out of it?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was pretty funny. It was good timing with, you know, the way I had my fight in the press conference, but, you know, that guy doesn't want to fight me. I mean, he's going to lose all his street cred one way or another. If he fights me, he loses it. If he doesn't fight me, he loses it even worse. So, you know, I know that guy doesn't want to fight me. He's trying to duck me at every corner, every step. So, you know, what can I say? What can I do? You know, I just want to put on good performances for the UFC. He'll be back in a corner. He'll need to take this fight. You know, it makes sense on The Ultimate Fighter. You know, let's revive that show. That show has been so boring, stale. There's no entertainment value on that show anymore. So let's bring it back, man. This is the fight that needs to happen. You know, if it doesn't happen now, then obviously it'll never happen because, you know, he says he's told the media. So if this guy's a man of his word, but he's not like me. If he's a man of his word, he wants the thing that gets him closest to the title. I'm the #1 guy. If you want to get back to the title and you really want to fight Marty again, you'll fight me, George. But you don't really want that, and you don't want to fight me. So all that talk, you know, that I'm fragile, that it's in the streets, blah, 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 all the bullshit, you know, your little tough street guy credit, it's gone, man. If you don't fight me, it's gone, man. So this fight needs to happen, man. The feud that this fight is and all the things he said in the media, he needs to come out here and fight me. I want to put on a beating for his, ex-wife, Maritza, the mother of his 2 children. She deserves an ass beating to this guy, and, some money from alimony when, he gets his bank account padded for losing to me. So this fight needs to happen.
So timing wise, I mean, obviously he's recovering from his injury and you still recovering a little bit from the foot. It kind of works out well for the Ultimate Fighter because there's a long lead up to a fight. I know when he was on Ariel's show, he said he'd like to fight Leon in March if it's on the table, but if it's not, which it looks like it isn't, he'd like to fight you. His words were, of course, I'd like to bash Colby's face, and we're talking about the biggest coward in the sport. So it looks like he's kind of keen on fighting you. What kind of talks have you had with the UFC about possibly doing an Ultimate Fighter with him? And ultimately, do you think he would agree to signing on to doing the Ultimate Fighter with you? Because it would be a lot of trash talk. Obviously, there'd be a lot of back and forth for months leading into the fight. Do you think he'd be willing to sort of commit to something like that against you?
I mean, are we really concerned of what he's willing to commit to? I mean, if he's willing to commit to anything, I mean, he's going to get himself hurt. I mean, he's going to get himself, I mean, his ribs are hurting. I know he's got some fragile ribs, and I'm the king of ribs. Go ask his boy Tyrone. He'll tell you how I am with ribs. So, that guy's fragile. It doesn't matter, man. If he goes on that show, if he tries to do anything, he's just going to get dumped on his head and knocked the fuck out unconscious. So what's that guy going to do? I mean, this is the fight that has to happen after he keeps running his mouth. I'm a coward. I'm fragile. I'm this and I'm that. No, you're the bitch. You're the fragile, brittle little bitch. Like, I'm the king of Miami. Everybody knows that. I run these streets here. The 305 is mine. I occupy this whole territory. No one can say any different, and he knows that. So show up or just shut your fucking mouth, bitch, and let real men do fucking work. Because I'm still going to be here. Put that fucking whack-ass BMF belt back on the fucking line. Everybody knows who the real baddest motherfucker in this sport is. It's Colby Chaos Covington. Bring that fucking belt out, and let's fucking do this shit. Do the Ultimate Fighter, whatever. Tape for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and run this fight in Miami. It makes sense. Let's go to American Airlines Arena. We can sell out that arena in seconds. And if we don't go to American Airlines, we can go right up the street to BB&T Center, which is 30 minutes up the street. I'll beat his ass at both arenas. We'll go BB&T Center, go up to Broward County, then go down to Miami-Dade County and beat his ass in American Airlines Arena. Fucking little bitch, Jorge.
Wow, it's the rivalry tour. Just quickly, on Leon Edwards not wanting to take another fight when Jorge fell out, obviously, Khamzat Chimaev was an option for him. There were a few options for him. What was your reaction when you saw that he decided to sort of stay off the card and see what his options were because he's on this, great streak and sort of hopes to get the next title shot?
I don't pay attention to what jobbers are doing. I pay attention to the business that's in front of me. My business is with Jorge Masvidal and Marty Fake Newsman. Those are my 2 businesses, the only business I care about. So I haven't been paying attention. That fight should have never been made in the first place. This is the fight to make. This is the biggest fight the UFC can make. So if they can't make it, there's only one side and reason that they can't make it. It's because that fragile little bitch, Street Judas Masvidal, didn't want to show up. So that fight was a filler. No one cared about that fight. This is the fight people want to see. This is the people's fight. This is for the people. They pay their hard-earned money. They go to their tough-ass jobs every day, put in their hard-earned work and hours so they can buy these tickets, to these big fights and see this pure entertainment. So let me put the violence on this dude's face out for all the shit talk that he's ran. This is the fight that needs to happen. And I want to get back to the title. I want a trilogy with Marty Fake Newsman. I want that. My soul's on fire for it. I want that more than I want to live. I don't give a shit about anything. That's the only thing I want is Marty's head. One more time. We've done 10 rounds. I'm up 6-4 easily. I could be 7-3. Could be 8-2. Like, that's how I feel. And the people feel the same way. The people saw with their own eyes in Madison Square Garden what happened. So I want to get back to him if he doesn't retire first. I want that belt. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it.
Well, the good thing is, Usman even himself even said after the fight at UFC 268 that he's open to a third fight. He was saying that, if you can climb the ranks, and he was saying that you probably, I think his words were that you'll tune up a lot of guys in the division and maybe you guys will do it again. In the meantime, while you have your business with Jorge, who do you think gets the next title shot at Usman? Obviously, people were thinking, well, all right, Leon's game plan now seems to be to wait out. But then you got Chimaev and Gilbert Burns, and people are speculating, well, what if Chimaev beats Gilbert Burns? Will he, leapfrog Leon for the next title shot? What do you think?
Like I try to tell Marty Juiceman before, he's not the matchmaker. He doesn't decide, how the UFC is going to do their business. So that decision is solely up to Hunter Campbell. He'll make that decision. Him and Dana White will think about it, and they'll do their business, whatever's best for their business in the UFC. The fighters have no say in that. The UFC, Dana White, Hunter Campbell put on the best fights and the biggest fights in the sport. And the wheel keeps running. That is what it is. It's just the UFC is a beautiful place and a complex machine that moves like a great freaking working, hamster wheel. So it's amazing what they do, but that's up to them. Hopefully it's me. I want another shot. I want that belt. I want to fight for it again. And Marty don't want to fight me again. He even went to Dana and Hunter after the fight and was like, man, that was a tough fight, man. I don't know how much more I got left in this sport. So, it might be a default me fighting for a championship, but there needs to be a belt on the line, man. I'm the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, #1, undisputed, undefeated, Colby Chaos Covington. The people know it. America knows it. So, I want to fight in these big fights and hopefully the UFC and Hunter Campbell make it happen.
Would you be disappointed if by the time you go back to the title, say in a fight or something from now, Kamaru Usman was no longer champion and you had to beat somebody else for the title?
Yeah, it would be tough. It would be bittersweet. It wouldn't be the same. After fighting him 2 fights and the judges picked him twice, it is what it is. That's their decision, but I've won over the people and I've won over the arenas and the millions of people watching on pay-per-view around the world. So, I know I did my job, and then just because I don't have the paper title and, the judges nod, the people saw with their own eyes what happened. They saw the way those rounds were scored and the fight I put up against him and who's the better fighter overall. If that was a fight to the death, the people know who's going to win that fight. There's no question it's going to be me. So, I didn't have to cheat. I didn't have to take timeouts. I didn't have to take breaks, and I was ready to go 5 more every time. So, it would be bittersweet, but I'm doing whatever it takes to get that belt. I want to hold that belt again, and it's more important to me than breathing anymore. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to keep working hard. You guys see the improvements I make every fight. That's every fight. Like, I'm still getting better every single day, still young in the sport, still love it, still evolving, still a student of the game. I love my craft, and I want to keep honing it and keep getting better every single day I step in the gym. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep getting better. So it doesn't matter who's still around. It can be Kamaru, but he can be scared and go into retirement. It is what it is. I'll know when this is all said and done who was the best. And I'm still going to be here. And my legacy is going to stand stronger in the long run.
I kind of almost feel like, when Anderson Silva fought Chael Sonnen and people saw that he was human, Chael Sonnen kind of was the beginning of Anderson Silva's run coming to an end because people saw that he could be beaten. And after these 2 performances against Kamaru Usman, and, a lot of people thought, Usman could be one of the greatest welterweight champions of all time. You did make him look human, and you did show a game plan where somebody could beat him. Do you feel like almost after watching what you did against him, other contenders will be trying to take notes from what you did and also kind of gain, I suppose, some kind of hopes because they saw you were able to make him look human, something that not many people have been able to do, if any?
I mean, it's pretty clear that myself and Marty are the clear-cut top of the division, the top of the mountain. There's just no one that can do what we do, and that's him doing it with steroids and me doing it naturally. So you'll see who's the more gifted fighter in the long run. I'm still going to be here and still be getting better every day. But I just don't, there's no other contenders out there that can fight like that can put on the volume, can power strike you, can knock you out with one punch, can take you down, can submit you. There's no fighters that are well-rounded like that. So I just don't see anybody giving him a challenge. I'm the only one that can do it. And I'm the last hope. And I know I'm going to be the guy that shocks the world and lets him know that he's not this superhuman person. He's not this pound for pound #1 fighter. No, he's not. He's unbeatable. He's a man. He puts his shoes and pants on the same way anybody else does. But he just, he believes a little bit more than some people, but not me. And he knows that deep down inside. He knows that a piece of him was lost in those 2 fights, and he'll never be able to get that back. And I'm coming to take it all the next time I see him again.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for this fight to happen. This is the kind of fight where I'm not going to be at home watching it in the living room. I'm going to go to the pub and watch it with the friends, watch it with the buddies, and get some pints going, and probably be half cut for our post-fight show if and when that eventually happens. But where do you watch fights? You know, if you want to watch them at the pub, there's nothing more frustrating than calling around different pubs and asking people, hey, are you showing the fights? Do you have commentary on? Is there volume or not? How many screens? Are you showing the, I don't know, 1986 wheelbarrow racing on instead of the fights?
Classic.
You know, like, we all love the wheelbarrow racing, but enough. I want to know which pubs show it, and the best way to do that is with our good friends at Matchpint. Very, very, very simple app. You go on, you pick your sports, so it actually populates whatever you want on there, and then you pick, all right, this is the fight that I want to watch. It's coming up this weekend. Doesn't even have to be fights. It can be any sports. It can be NBA, NFL, whatever you want. You click it, and then it shows you a bunch of pubs near your location showing the event, and from there, it shows how many screens they have for the fights. It shows special offers, like maybe they're offering free pints, you've got fixtures, and then you click the map button and it just, you know, pumps into your maps and it takes you straight there to the pub. You could be the hero of all your friends. You've got all the latest inside scoops on who's showing what and where. Matchpint, your best friend for sport. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. I mean, be ready for any occasion with your mates, whatever happens in whatever sport. Just like Casper mentioned, click the link description below. Download the app today. It'll be in your pocket, ready to go. No matter what the occasion, you'll be the hero of the group. Make sure to get that Matchpint app today. Be ready for all the crazy sports that the world is going to be throwing at you at 2022, because Matchpint is your best mate for sport.
That's right. Just last one from me, Colby, on Jorge, and then we'll get out of your hair. And just on Jorge, one of the things that he said on the MMA Hour was he felt like you've become a nice guy. He said something to the effect of Usman beat him so bad that now he's turned into a nice guy. He kind of insinuated that you've had a face turn. I do notice that people are coming around to you a lot more. I wonder what you make of those comments, the insinuation of a baby face turn. But also, I feel like if this fight was in 2019, you and Jorge, you'd clearly be the heel, he'd clearly be the face. But do you kind of feel like the gap has closed a little bit in terms of fan perception lately of the two of you guys? And why do you think that is? I don't think it's as clear cut as it was before.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to, you know, the outside noise. I'm very, you know, focused on my dreams. You know, I'm not engulfed and entrenched in social media every single day, paying attention to people's comments and what they think of me. You know, everybody has a different opinion in life, and I respect everybody's opinion. You know, I agree to disagree with them if they don't want to think the same as me or see things differently and have a different perspective than me. That's okay. You can have a different perspective. This is America. This is the world. You should have freedom of speech and freedom of thought, you know, to live your life how you want to live it. But you know, I'm just trying to put on the biggest and best shows. People can love me and hate me. At least they have an emotion towards me. They're not going to turn the channel to the Real Housewives of OC. They're going to be paying attention to the UFC and Colby Covington. So, you know, I'm very grateful for where I'm at, you know, and the people that support me. I had Candace Owens in the building. It was amazing to have her out there. She's a future president. You know, she gave me some dragon energy that night, you know, in Madison Square Garden for UFC 268. You know, Jack Owak, my brother from Bang Energy, man, he does a great job of giving me the best supplements so I can keep improving and upping my game and just having good, you know, nutritional advice for me. And, you know, I just got a great inner circle and people around me now, and I'm grateful for everything that I have and the people that support me. And I'm even grateful for my haters, man. They're awesome. You know, if you hate me and you don't respect the body of work I do, then, you know, that's your own problem. You're probably living in your mom's basement eating Cheetos and you know, you're just envious and jealous of me. But, you know, I'm still going to entertain you and you can still hate me as long as you want. You're free to have your own thought.
Just as we wrap up, man, daytime wise, timeline wise, if you could make this Masvidal fight happen next, or even do this Ultimate Fighter thing, what are we looking at? What would work for you perfectly? I know he said that March he could possibly, you know, fight Leon Edwards. It doesn't look like something like that would happen. So would, you know, March work for you for a possible fight, or are you more interested in making this tough thing a reality and sort of making tough great again? What would your sort of look at it be?
No, it's not that I'm much more interested in the tough. You know, it'd be cool. It's awesome. You know, revive the show, do some good business for the UFC, bring that back. You know, I remember when I was a kid, the tough show was the thing everybody was watching at high school. It's everybody that, even if they didn't know wrestling or fighting or martial arts, they'd come to school talking about the tough fights, you know, and it just, I remember, you know, just thinking like how important and the impact of that show made on my life. It motivated me to inspire me to go out there and get that 6-figure contract, chase my goals and dreams in life. So that'd be cool. Of course, I just want to get locked in a cage with this clown. I just want to be locked in a cage with Jorge Street Judas Masvidal, so more than I want anything in the world. Like, that dude needs to pay for all the things he said about me. I mean, oh my God, dude. But if he doesn't show up, then that's okay too. He loses all that street cred. He loses all the respect in the fighting community. He's not a real fighter. That guy's a fragile little bitch. And he's a clown. He's a fake. He's a Judas. He turned his back on me for no reason, dude. He started talking shit about me for no reason. And this is all his fault. And he's going to pay. He's going to have to pay by losing his consciousness and losing his health, man. I'm definitely taking at least 5 years off his life. I promise you that. You're going to see a savage come out that you've never seen. This beef is more personal and more hatred than I've ever had for anything in my entire life. I want to crush this guy's soul. I want to fucking eat it, rip his heart out, fucking grill it on my house, put it on the barbecue, and have all my fucking first responder and military friends over, because, God bless the military and God bless the troops, the people and the first responders that keep us free and protect our freedoms here in America. Law and order, baby.
Well, I mean, the UFC's job is easy here, right? Hunter Campbell, Mick Maynard, Dana White. It's like the fight is basically sold. So hopefully we see it. Hopefully we see it as soon as possible. Let's make it happen, man. We've been waiting. As fans, we've been waiting for this fight. Follow the man on Twitter and Instagram at Colby Cov MMA. And Colby, as always, man, a pleasure. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And hopefully we see this fight happen as soon as possible.
Couldn't agree more, my brothers. But either way, the train keeps moving, and we just getting started. The best is yet to come. Thanks for having me back on Submission Radio. Take care, boys. I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Colby. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Thanks again.